everyone, Dominic Esposito, your drill instructor. Welcome tonight to a clinic that I want to spend a little extra time tonight. So let me tell you in advance, might run over a couple of extra minutes. So don't let you get your knickers in a bunch for some of you impatient people. The rest of you, I have been asked so many times, can I please teach the winning ball aiming system? And yes, I'm going to do that tonight. So take good notes. But I want you to know the entire teaching video for this is on DITV. And also for those of you who are members of DITV, you know you get special access to the templates and things that you're going to want to, be knowing about. But thanks to our sponsors, Pool and Billiard Mag. Now, they used to be. Gosh, I said that for so many, many years. But you know what? I hope Sherry and do miss her dad and all that were there for Tom and Carol and all the rest of the team. That was a lot of fun for many, many years. That Pool and Billiard magazine was, they were the oldest running magazine in the billiard industry, if nobody knew that, and extremely successful, did very, very good job. And I was really proud to be writing for them since the year 2005. So only until, a couple of years ago, and I think everything kind of took its turn, but almost a good 20 years. Anyway, Diamond Billiard Tables, love them. Perimeter Lighting, Tony, Dr. Harrison for my glasses, all the rest of you. Let's get into this because we got a lot of good stuff to get into tonight. Okay, how does the winning ball aiming system work? There are seven key aiming systems in the industry. It's not important to try to know them all because what happens is typically you'll get maybe two and sometimes up to three. You kind of sort of begin eventually merging them together. So there's no really one specific, I just use this aiming system. I don't think it quite works that way. But when I developed this many years ago, it has an incredible story to the background of how this came about. The only thing I can tell you is we created it with pure math, with laser lights, and up to a roughly 65 degree cut. It's absolutely mathematically accurate. And then I've also created, for those of you who want to know, the thin cut template that's already done. So let's look at it this way. The pool table is cut up into two perfect squares, okay? And the winning ball aiming system mathematically is designed to find the center of a corner. That's it, a corner pocket. The center of a corner pocket, right? Splitting the pocket. So technically every pool table is made up of 8 pockets. You only thought there was 6. The winning ball aiming system uses 8 pockets on the pool table. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 corner pockets here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 corner pockets there. 4 plus 4, I get 8 every time. So I don't know what table you're playing on, but the winning ball aiming system mathematically finds the center of a corner based on up to about a 65-ish degree cut, which is pretty much going to be better than 90% of all your cut shots will be within 60, 65 degrees. And that's pretty much where you want to be. So here's how it works. Imagine if you would, okay, I'm going to do 2 things here. I'll create an oversized cue ball so that you can see it from the camera. For those of you, I'm actually doing this live. So what I want you to do is I want you to picture this represents a cue ball in a gift box. It's really important that you get that in your head. The cue ball in a gift box, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you find the back corner of a cue ball. And the only way you could find that now is if I put it in a box, that would be the back corner, the back left corner, that would be the back right corner. To you on camera, that would be your left, this would be your right. But I'm going to be referring to them from my view so you get that. So this circle right here is going to represent my object ball that I'm going to pocket. and this is going to represent my cue ball. And then I'm going to use these just as little guide sticks so you can see what happens, okay? Now, here's what the aiming system looks like in action. Let me see if I can't just go ahead and give you a quick example. Step one, point to the outer edge, pivot to the center, parallel pull, step in, and there it is, take the shot. And it finds the center of the heart of a corner every time, and that was about a good 50-degree cut right there. So as you can see, these are pretty standard cuts we tend to have. The length and the shortness really doesn't matter. So now that we've established how that works, there are 3 basic steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, each have their own intent of what you must do, or your math is going to be wrong. So let me put it to you this way once and for all. If I say to you 2 + 2 equals, very good class, 4. But 2 + 2 1/4, it isn't 4 anymore. So you see, your math has to be absolutely right, and you have 3 exact points where you want to be certain you get it. Now on the template, all of this is laid out, but pay attention and you're going to get it right here. So here's my object ball, here's my cue ball, and I'm going to be using the concept of the cue ball in a gift box so you can get the concept of aiming direction. So if it's going to be a left side cut shot, then I will always start from the back left side of the cue ball. If it's a right side cut shot, you will start at the back right side of the cue ball. So whatever the angle of the cut shot is to, is the side of the cue ball you start on. So let's just go ahead and take this as our object ball. This is our cue ball, and I'm going to make a left cut shot. So here's the first thing you need to understand. The tip of your cue stick goes on the back left-hand corner of the cue ball. So you see I'm actually on the piece of paper, but I'm right on the absolute edge of that piece of paper. If you were to take my stick and just put it right up to the very edge, that's where it is, okay? Now, as I am on the edge of that, I am actually pointing directly to the outermost right edge of the cut shot I'm about to make, to the left. So technically, this edge of this stick right here is pointing directly at this most edge of the object ball right there. Okay, you can kind of see that straight. So that's step 1. It's very important that you do not have the tip of your stick further in than just the edge of the cue ball. So from this angle of the camera, what I'm going to do is show you, if I were making this 11 ball into the corner pocket up there, I would be making a right side cut, so I'm on the back right side of the cue ball. Look at how far right exactly to the back edge of the cue ball I am. I'm not up here, I'm not back here, I'm right at the exact corner edge, facing on the most outer edge. Now let's say this was going to be a reverse cut into the top left-hand corner. So I'm on the back left edge of the cue ball. If I were diagramming it with this large drawing, then technically I would have this line edge looking at that most farthest edge. It's a left side cut shot, so I'm on the back left corner of the cue ball, pointing to the outer opposite edge. Okay, that's step 1. Fair enough? Good. Step 2, you will pivot to the center. Now, the reason this is such a big deal is because if you under pivot or over pivot, and I'm going to try to do this looking to you right here straight at the camera. So if you can use that drawing. If I am pointing to this, let's say it's left cut shot, and I'm pointing to that left. There's the left side of the cue ball, back corner, pointing to the outermost edge. When I pivot to that center, you see how much the change in the pivot is? The key is not, now the key is to point at the center from this point here. Being very careful not to over pivot or under pivot. That's where you could make your mistake on step 2. So as I might be looking at this to cut this into the corner pocket here, left side cut, back left corner to cue ball, pointing directly at the most direct outer edge of the 1 ball. So you see how I imagine the cue ball in that box. It's in my gift box. Now from here, when I pivot to the center, this is key that I pivot to the center. Looking at this in a real ball size, I'm here, and then pivoting right to the center. Be very careful not to over pivot or under pivot. It will change the math. So from this position, it's a left side cut, back left side corner, pivot to the center. Now you see how I move my whole body? I don't just go like that. I'm going to move my whole body and stay behind the stick. Get the longest distance I can from the stick. That's only going to make my alignment even all that much more accurate. Okay? Then, parallel pull. This is important. I learned this a long time ago by trial and error, so I guess I made it up. Too many people, when they try to parallel pull, they either pull the back end or they swing the front end. What I've created when I call it the parallel pull is by leaving the tip just sitting on the table lightly in the back of your hand, if you just begin to pull the stick backwards and to the side, it stays parallel. In other words, if I try to go straight sideways, you see how I could pull the back end, or I could just try to move the tip and then I gotta, but if I just pull backwards and to the side all at the same time, the stick stays perfectly parallel. So I call that the parallel pull. And keep in mind, since the ball's only 2 1/4 inches wide, you're only pulling back half of that, which is 1 1/8 of an inch. So technically, what I'm going to do for step 3, looking at this position, step 1, left side cut, back left side corner to cue ball. Step 2, pivot to the center. Step 3, parallel pull right to the back center to cue ball, directly back to the new outer edge of the object ball. That's what I'm looking for. So it looks like this when I'm using my gigantic cue ball diagram. So picture the box is pointing right at that edge. So you can see that perfectly from the outer edge, pivot to the center, and then watch this. Here it comes. Parallel pull back to the center of the cue ball at the new edge. That math right there, you see the difference between that math and that math. So no, you don't just come down to the cue ball and shoot at the edge. You need to mathematically calculate it right, because from here, again, 2 + 2 is 4. 2 + 2 1/4. It's not 4 anymore. So you need to be perfectly here, pivoting to the center, parallel pull back to the center of the cue ball as it's now pointing precisely to the object edge. And then when I'm shooting this, see if I can exaggerate it for you, I'm shooting right at that edge. Precisely. So when I turn this into an actual shot like this, let's see if I can squeeze it into this little space. From here, 1, pivot to the center, 2, parallel pull back to the center of the cue ball, right to the edge of the object ball. Step 3, when I step in, I'm going to just take my aim and go straight to that edge right there. And if I can just do that in slow motion, it's going to find the dead heart of a square. That's the way the math is calculated. Now, what about if you shoot too soft? Anything under a 4-speed shot stroke, you remember that's the length of lagging to win the break, that begins to activate CIT, collision-induced throw. You begin throwing the object ball. Plus, if you start using spin, the speed of the shot is going to impact the throw of the object ball. Usually it takes about a 4 speed, that LAD speed or higher, and the CIT is not nearly as activated, but under 4 speed, it begins to take an activated roll. And the roll it can take, the maximum roll it can take, basically for every 1 foot the ball travels, it begins to shift as much as a full inch. And that's really true. You see, just for the fun of it, some of you beginners may not know this, but if I were to take this and use the exact same setup, edge, back left corner of the cue ball to the edge of the 6 ball, pivot to the center, parallel pull back to the center, aim the 6 ball. Now watch this. I'm going to aim at this, and I'm going to apply 3 tips of left, and I'm going to shoot it slow. You see how high up on that edge I hit? Now that ball only traveled 1.5 feet, which means it already did travel 1.5 inches. That's why it hit the point from dead center. Now, if that ball were just 2 diamonds away, it would have definitely missed. So it's critical to understand the speed of your shot with the cue ball is going to have an influence on the object ball. Generally, it's the lag speed of winning the break that usually under that speed, you're going to throw the ball. Over that speed, maybe not. So the 3 steps, once again, the hardest part is step 1. Being able to get the tip of your cue on the back corner of the cue ball. But now you can understand exactly how to do that. It's right here where my fingers are. It's either the back right-hand corner or the back left-hand corner, and be right exactly, your tip of your stick is right on that corner piece. It's not way up, under, it's not outside of it, it's right on it. Just as if my fingernail were on that right now, you can see that. And then point that edge directly, if it's a left side cut, or let's go back, we'll do it this time. We'll do it a full right side cup this time. Cut, there you go, there it is, straight into the pocket. Now I'm going to use, this is going to be right side cut, so I'm on the back right edge of the cue ball, but watch, I'm going to make sure that edge is looking right. Yeah, if I was ever going to believe in anything called edge to edge, this would be about where I stopped. Right there. Back right hand corner of the cue ball, facing precisely at the most outer edge, but it's a back right side because it's a right side cut. Then I pivot to the center, and then from there, parallel pull back to the center of the cue ball, right to the edge. And that is going to mathematically find the exact point of a square up to approximately, it's really like 66.5 degrees. It's like 33 1/3, 66.66. That's really where it is. Many times you might have heard me say 70%, sometimes 60%. But here's the point. You don't even need to look at the pocket when you do this. And especially if you've been running long, late sets and you guys got this big reverse cut to finish winning the game. This is the way you want to be able to do it. Okay, so if you get on DITV, there's all the other aiming systems. I teach all of that in the boot camp series. All the rest of you, thanks for writing. I hope you didn't mind I gave you this little extra longer session. And for those of you just tuning in now because you're waiting for 6 o'clock, oops. So I did a little extra longer session on the winning ball aiming system. Want to thank all of you. Keep writing. Listen, we're working on something really exciting and new right now. At least it is to us on YouTube. Please let everybody know we're gang. We get a lot of following on Facebook, but we're really getting ready to start doing so much more on YouTube. I guess they give us the flexibility for doing more. Anyway, the most I can give you, I want to. Love you guys. Aim straight, shoot straight, split the pockets. Now you know where that comes from, the winning ball aiming system. And that's why you can split the pockets. And God bless you. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.